Tamika Hall Radio Show. The Tamika Hall Radio Show. The Tamika Hall Radio Show. Tamika Hall Radio Show.
We've had Miss Rena Bullard hanging out in the virtual studio. Rena is part of the Faith of Believer virtual tour, so we're very blessed to be part of your virtual tour tonight. Rena, how are you doing tonight?
I am super excited, Tamika. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm honored to be in the number with Susan and Julie. It's great.
Yes, and I'm really excited to have you here as well. It's not every day that I have an opportunity to bend the ear of an actual interior designer, and so I'm excited to have you on here. And not only are you an interior designer, but as an author, you're now on an expert status. So very excited that you are here part of the show tonight. So, Rena, let's just jump right into it. I mean, you are a certified interior designer, so how did you venture into this field?
Well, it started out when I was a realtor. Of course, my clients wanted to and needed to sell their homes, so they also needed to stage their home, because I would tell my clients all the time that now that you have decided to sell your house, you have to revert it back to a house. You've made it a home by putting up your pictures and, displaying your bric-a-brac and your collectibles. But now that you want to sell it, you have to turn it back into a house. So I would give them tips and things that they need to do to turn their home back into a house. And I realized that, hey, I really enjoy doing this. I mean, I like selling houses, but I really came alive with the decorating part of it, with giving them hints on how to stage their home. So I took it one step further, and I just went ahead and I became certified as an interior decorator. And I'm loving every minute of it.
And that's the dream, is to be able to do something that you love every single day. And, I think it's awesome that you are able to help people, because I'm sure they're taking tips on how to make their home a showplace even while they are living there. And, I think, Rena, that there is a misconception, or I always say for myself, that a person needs to have a huge wallet in order to redecorate their home or to make it a showplace. And I think all of us want to live somewhere nice, but, that really isn't the case, and you show us that with your book. So is it possible for somebody to work with a small budget and actually be able to make their living space great?
Tamika, that's a great question, and it is absolutely possible. Yes, it is possible, and that is why I call my book D.I.Y Do-It-Yourself Color Confidence. In the book, I teach people how to use what they already have to make the space what they want it to be. Because oftentimes, as we're walking past through the rooms of our home, we don't see it because we're so accustomed to seeing the same things over and over again. But what my book does, my book opens the eyes of the homeowners and says, hey, but you have this, hey, but you have that. And by all means, go into the garage, go into your basement, go into your attic, and pull out those boxes and see what you have stashed away. Because in those places are gems, Tamika, gems. You don't have to go out to the big and spend a big wad of cash to make your house beautiful. Many people have what they need right within their living space, but they just don't realize it because they're just walking by it every day without paying attention.
If somebody were trying to do a quick facelift, what would you suggest that they change? Would it be a matter of just changing their drapes? Or, because I think we all feel like, I need to get a brand new living room set, or I need to get a new dining room set. But what are some of those small, and of course don't reveal everything, but, what are some of those little small things that we can do to kind of get a whole new look to where we live?
Okay. The first thing they need to do is start with color. I think think about what God did after the flood. Rain 40 days, 40 nights, bam, he put a rainbow in the sky. He started with color.
Wow.
Time to redecorate the earth, as it were, right? He started with color. So that's what I tell my clients to do. Start with color, because color is going to give you instant gratification is going to give you the most bang for your buck, which is why I started with color. There were many things I could have talked about in my book because decorating is a big topic, but I wanted to start with something digestible. So I started with color. Color, it has the ability to change the look and the feel of a space instantaneously. And even if you're living in a space that maybe prohibits putting paint on the wall, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Use it with art. Get some colorful art up there. Get some colorful accessories in the space. Color will give you instant impact immediately. So I would tell that person to hold off, go into the store and buy in the dining room furniture and all that other stuff, and just start with color. And D.I.Y Color Confidence will tell them exactly how to do it.
So I wanted us to really forge into your book, D.I.Y Color Confidence. What exactly gave you the idea that said, you know what, I need to put this in a book? Because I will say I love the fact that you have a blog. So if people were to go to your website, then they would be able to get tips right there on how to redecorate. So if they were to go to Redecorating by Renee, they would get tips on how to, boost up their bedrooms or what have you. But what made you say, okay, I'm going to reveal some of my secrets and actually put it in a book and give it to the world?
Because, Tamika, we all learn differently, right? Some people, they enjoy listening to the radio. Some people like DVDs. Some people like holding it in their hands with book. And I'm happy to say that my book, D.I.Y Color Confidence, is available in paperback. And I'm happy to also say that it's available on Kindle. So I said, if you want to change your space, I want to give you the resource to do it. And D.I.Y Color Confidence will absolutely give it to you. In the book, I talk about color facts. Just what is color? Where does it come from? What's in color? I talk about the color wheel, which is the design professional's secret weapon. Well, it's not a secret anymore because it's in the book. I talk about the color wheel. I talk about color and mood, which is so important. I cannot stress how important color is when it comes to mood. If you think about fast food restaurants, you're not going to see, too much greens and blues. You'll see oranges and reds and yellows because they want you to feel alive. They want to stimulate your appetite. They want you to buy. It's very intentional. So, and I also talk about color schemes. Okay, maybe I'm not so patriotic. Maybe I don't want a red, white, and blue room, but I do want to put colors together. How do I do it? I tell you how to do it in the book, and the color wheel will absolutely help you to do it effortlessly. I talk about color fixes. How do I fix my space with color? I'm not talking about removing walls or adding walls or changing my square footage. I'm talking about tricking the eye into thinking that maybe the ceiling that you feel like is too high, bring it down. You can do that with color. If the ceiling is too low, you can make it look like it's higher with color. If the room is too narrow, well, color can help you feel like, you can help the space look like it's wider than it really is. Color is amazing. There's so much you can do with color, and it doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't cost a lot of money, but it gives you so much impact, and it's so versatile.
I one of the things that you just said a few moments ago when you actually talked about the fact that you said after God created the earth or, flooded the earth, then he decorated it with a beautiful rainbow. And I know for myself, rainbows always make me feel very happy because I love the color of everything. And you did also just talk about the mood, and I think that, this is a faith-based show, and so, when we're talking about mood, I know a lot of us want to walk into a tranquil space. And, so when you're talking about setting mood, I will say this, I don't know if this is a myth, because you actually mentioned the color red. And I've had some people actually say, I would never paint my room red because that makes people angry. And, it makes you walk in and it makes you angry. I mean, is that true?
It's so not true, Tamika. It really is not true. Actually, studies show that the color yellow is the color that you kind of want to use sparingly and strategically. Studies show that if you paint your entire room yellow, that people tend to argue more in a yellow space, and babies even cry more in a yellow space. But red, not so much. Red is going to make you feel alive. It's going to make you feel, okay, I can do this. Yeah, I can do this. Now, I'll tell you a quick story about red. When I was selling my house, my first house, almost 20 years ago, I wasn't an interior designer then, but I knew I needed to make my house stand out in the minds of potential buyers. It was a nice house, but nothing really special about it, no architectural details. I needed to do something to make people remember my house. So I painted the entire living room red. Oh, yes, I did. The entire living room. And my house sold. The first couple that came through purchased my house. So red, no, it doesn't make you argue. It might be issues, some other issues going on, but it's not the color. I promise you it's not the color.
But, when you think about it, even when you just talked about the color yellow, it actually can make babies cry. I mean, I'm amazed by that because if you think about it, Rena, a lot of people are trying to move away from, painting the room pink or painting it blue when they have kids, and they go for neutral colors like, like a sage and a green. You see that a lot where those colors are paired together. But, I mean, that's something really important to know. People need to get your book because don't paint that baby's room yellow. Wow.
Yeah, and I'm not saying don't use yellow, but you need to use it strategically and sparingly with the accessories, not all four walls. That's way too much. Think about it. How long can you look at the sun? As amazing as God's sun is, you can only look at it for a little while and then like, okay, this is way too much, So you want to use it sparingly. You want to use this strategically with your accessories. Maybe just paint one wall, a feature wall, an accent wall, yellow, instead of all four walls. But you know what, Tamika? I'm a big fan of painting the ceiling. If you love yellow and you want it in your space, paint it in the ceiling. Paint your ceiling yellow.
Rena, I wanted to ask you, just for us to kind of get to know you a little bit more and I guess kind of get to know your journey in this field. Oftentimes I see it really dominated by men. Is this a real male-dominated field? And, how have you really been able to navigate it? And I've also seen where a lot of times you don't see a lot of African-American women that are just busting down, these glass ceilings, that you are definitely, creating a path for people to do that. I mean, what has your journey been like in your rise to being this interior designer that you are?
Well, Tamika, I have to say that I'm simply doing what I'm passionate about. This is a gift that God gave me, and I'm working my gift. And the fact, you're absolutely right. There aren't a lot of African-American women out there, and I'm happy to pave the way, absolutely. And there are lots of men out there, but I really don't focus on that too much because I'm just having too much fun working the gift that God's given me and helping people enjoy their space. So I think it boils down to whatever the gift is that's inside of you, you have to kind of have blinders on and not look to see if somebody else is doing it or how they're doing it or how well they're doing it. Just go for it because, it doesn't matter if 100,000 people are doing it. No one can do it like you. And I'm super excited about that, and I'm so grateful to the Lord for this opportunity to share the gift that he's given me with so many people.
And it is amazing. And, I mean, it's like when we do share, then it seems like as we pour out, God continues to pour into us. So, kudos to you, and thank you for just sharing your gift. And that brings me to this. I know that you're actually offering a free, and everyone, I said FREE, a free teleseminar for potential authors, and I think that actually takes place tomorrow. Can you just talk to us a little bit about that before you go?
Yes, that takes place tomorrow with my good friend and mentor, Jocelyn Richard, and you can find all the information on my website, redecoratingbyrena.com, and it's absolutely a free teleseminar, and it talks about how you can take your passion and make your passion, a profitable business, and we're going to have a great time with that. And in addition to that free teleseminar, I'm also offering a free DIY workshop. All you have to do is text the word or the letters DIY to the number 22828, and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, is in your inbox right away. So if you take that free workshop and couple it with DIY Color Confidence, you have the tools to make your space amazing right away.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. And I definitely want to tell people they obviously have to get the book, because for all of us creative entrepreneurs that are on the line right now, we need to know how to create a good working space that is going to make us feel productive. So I definitely appreciate you putting all of that out. So, Rena, tell us, how can we get in touch with you? How can we buy the book? Where can people find you?
Okay. Well, the book is on Amazon.com right now as we speak. It's available in paperback. It's also available on Kindle. You can connect with me on all the social medias, Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, and you'll find links to all of those social media outlets on my website, redecoratingbyrena.com, and I'm happy to connect with your listening audience. I love being social, so by all means, tweet me and Facebook me and like me, and I will likewise respond to you, absolutely.
Well, awesome. Well, Rena, thank you so much for just being on the Tamika Hall radio show, sharing your wisdom, and really just inspiring and empowering all of us to kind of up the ante and do something really spectacular in our homes.